Hello everyone. In this short clip we're going to use this pivot table to create another pivot table, one that looks like this. So in order to do that, we're going to copy it and paste it into the worksheet that it's going to reside in. Bring up the field list and then start adding fields and taking away fields to meet the criterion. The criteria for this pivot table is that we're going to display sales of product by county, across categories, and filtered by period and province. We're going to calculate row and total columns from that. I'll remove the category for the moment, and we put in county and product name. So that's that completed. And then we want the categories to be along the columns here. So we just grab the category here and drag it up to the columns area. So already you can see that we've got a lot of the pivot table set up already. So now we're going to put in the filters for it, and the filters are going to be using slicing and the timelines. So let's do the slicer first. Pivot table analyze, insert slicer. And the slicer we want is the province. Say OK, and it comes up like that. We want it to run across the top here, so I'm going to say 4 columns. Press enter, and then I'll just resize it to fit the pivot table here, and shrink that down. And the timeline, we go to click on the pivot table, analyze, insert timeline, and the order date is fine here. That's okay, and that's the timeline. So we'll bring this up to the top, and we'll run it across the side here, and run the slider along, January to November. There are a couple of things we want to do with this. I'm going to right click on the county here, and I'm going to go to the field settings for the county and go to print and layout. For this pivot table, I want to repeat the item labels going all the way down, and I want to insert a blank line after each item label to make it more readable. So I'll say OK to that. And now there's the items repeated here, and then there's a blank row between each one, so it makes it more readable. I can refine my selections further. So if I just want to see Connacht, that's the Connacht totals for this period. If I want to see just January, February, and March, I see the product totals, the Connacht totals for January, February, and March. If I want to clear all the province filters, I can click the clear filter button to show all the different provinces for this period. If I want to show it by quarters, I can click the months drop down here and select quarters, and I can say what was it in column quarter 2, quarter 1, and I can clear all the filters from the order date, and it gives you all that flexibility. So you can further refine. So the timeline and the slicer here provide filters for the entire pivot table, and the filters in the pivot table then can further refine the filter table, so you can decide which particular counties you want, or which products you want, or which categories you want. Some of this isn't particularly readable at the moment, so what we'll do is we'll just change. So order date here, I'll go to the timeline and change the order date to period. I'll change the sum of total here to sales. I'll change cost county here to county. I'll change product name to product, just to make it more readable. So now if I compare that table to this table, they're both very similar. In a few clips and less than a couple of minutes work, I was able to transform this table here into this table here. Also, because I'd already made this my master table with regard to number formats, etc., and setting up my group names, this table came through very clean, and I didn't have to reset my number formats, etc. So it's very useful that way. So have a practice with that, and please read Pivot Table 2, PV2 here. There's a lot of information there about good tips on how to set up pivot tables. So well worth a look there. So okay, so that's it for this session. Thanks a lot, and bye for now.